there's some massive considerations to think about if you're coming here as a couple compared to a single, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And the elephant in the room, which is the last one, so make sure you stick around on the video for that one. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're all doing well. I'm in my lovely home in Somewhat Songkram today, videoing with the old Hilux in the background. I know a lot of you on my channel are either single guys, single girls, or couples coming to Thailand, so I thought this video was very appropriate, you know, to compare the two different ones, because I think it's very, very different. The costs are if you're coming here as a couple compared to a single, and there's some considerations you need to think about. The first one would be housing. You know, I think a lot of couples, when they come to Thailand, they want a house like this, you know, 2-3 bedroom property, either in a tourist area or out in the countryside, which makes a massive difference to your budget, obviously. I mean, we brought this house out in the countryside, so this is a lot cheaper than it would be, let's say, in Hua Hin, and rent would be cheaper here too. I think most couples that come out to Thailand want a house, you know, with a garden and a nice area. I think it feels more like a home if you're a couple. Not everyone, but I think a lot of couples want some kind of rented home or, you know, pool villa out here. And I think a lot of singles don't. A lot of single guys, single ladies coming out here, they'll be quite happy with a condo, most of them. I think it's a bit lonely if you're in a house on your own. If I was a guy living on my own, I'm pretty sure I would get a condo, you know, beachfront or something like this. I think that's a better option for single people. So obviously that's going to be a lot cheaper, you know, a condo is, but the house is shared between, you know, two of you, so the price then is going to be as cheap. And you can get some really good deals on houses in Thailand now, rented accommodation, especially outside the tourist areas a little bit as well. Another big consideration is the visa. Obviously, if you're coming here as a couple, you have to get if you get a retirement visa in Thailand, then, you know, it's for everybody. You can't get a couple retirement visa. It doesn't work like that. So you have to get a retirement visa for each of you. So this would be one big consideration. You know, you both need to meet the financial requirements. You both need to be over 50. You know, maybe your missus is younger usually. So, you know, if you're 55 and she's 49, then it's going to impact you. She's not going to be able to go on the retirement visa till she's 50, and vice versa if, you know, the lady's older and the guy's younger. So this is a consideration. So I think it's easier for a single guy. You know, the financial requirements are a little bit easier because there's only one of you. The other biggie is lifestyle and social things you do together. So lifestyle, I think, you know, if you're coming here as a couple, I think you're more settled in life, generally, you know, and you're going to spend more evenings at home relaxing, especially if you got a home like this, if you're a couple. So definitely you're going to spend less. I know me when I was a single guy, you know, you do spend more money. You just go out more, you socialize more, you go out partying more, drinking more, especially if you're single guy as well. So yeah, you're definitely going to spend more money on probably alcohol, going out, socializing more, and I think as a couple you're going to just spend less. You're going to be more settled. Sometimes you're just going to cook at home, have a meal at home, where I think if you're single you're going to go out and have a meal more to try and meet people, because you're probably a bit lonely if you just stay in your condo all the time. So, you know, you're going to be more social. I think it encourages you to be more social, which is good and bad. You spend more money by doing that, I think, by going out, but it's better than, you know, sometimes always staying in. I think couples can be guilty, myself too, myself included. We can be guilty when you're in a relationship with a couple, especially like myself who've got a young family. You know, you don't make as much effort to go out because it's a bit more difficult, and you're kind of comfortable at home environment, and, you know, you're quite settled with your missus. And obviously when you're buying food and stuff, as a couple, it's a lot cheaper to cook at home. So you're going to cook at home a lot more because you're cooking together as a family kind of thing. So as a couple, instead of on your own, if you're on your own cooking, I don't think many single guys out here in condos cook that much. And the facilities to cook in condos is actually not that good. In houses, you know, there are normally better cooking facilities set up. You can have barbecues outside. We have like a full kitchen inside our home here, and we've only got a small house here, so we have all the facilities to cook outside and inside here on gas and electric, actually, in the house and outside of the house, or, you know, maybe a barbecue as well. Maybe you've seen on my videos before. We have a lot of barbecues out here where if you're in a condo, you can't do that. And you're just less likely to do that because you're a single on your own. You're less likely to have a barbecue on your own. Who does that? I don't think many people do that. There are one or two guys that do, but generally no. The other big one would be healthcare. Obviously, if you come over to Thailand, everyone needs health insurance. So you'd have to get 2 policies. So this is obviously going to cost you a lot more if you're a couple because there's 2 of you as opposed to a single guy or girl coming out here. So that's going to make a massive difference. You know, it's going to be double the cost. Maybe you can get some kind of discount if you both sign up with a company, but yeah, that's something you have to investigate. I do recommend Pacific Cross Insurance. They're a good company. I'll put the link down in the description if you're interested in insurance in Thailand. And before we get to the last one, the other big one would be, you know, like my truck here, transportation. I think if you're here, living here as a couple, I think most couples get a car. They either rent a car or, you know, if they're staying here long term, they would buy a car like this absolute beaut here. And it makes your life very comfortable and nice, but it does mean you do spend more on transport because you own your own car. That's obviously more expensive than getting the bus and songtaos and motorbike taxis and Bolt taxis. You know, owning a car is, you know, an outlay when you first outlay your price. My truck, for example, my truck was 880,000 baht when I bought my truck. So this is an expense you're going to have to think about if you're a couple. And that, you know, you can get a car for that similar price. That's quite a nice price, you know, around about 1 million baht for a car in Thailand. You get quite a nice vehicle with that, a brand new vehicle. But obviously it comes with, you know, you have to pay for insurance and diesel and petrol or tax and maintenance of the car as well. So this is something that I think as couples, you're going to have a car, so you're going to spend more on transportation. If you're a single guy on your own, I think you're going to have a motorbike. I mean, yeah, couples do have motorbikes, and that is another option. If you're a couple, you can have a motorbike. If you feel comfortable on a scooter, you know, bombing around with someone on the back. I've done it many times, but it's nicer to have a car, to be honest with you, especially with the heat in Thailand. It does get quite intense sometimes, so you want to be able to use the aircon, and, you know, it makes it a bit comfortable, especially as an older age. I mean, I find myself driving the motorbike less and less as I get older. I can still drive absolutely fine. Like the other day, I just bombed to Bangkok from here, and it's 2 hours on the motorbike into the city, just bombing around, and it doesn't really bother me. But, you know, as I get older, I think it probably will bother me more, and I'll be just like, I want sabai. I want it nice and relaxed. I want to go in the Hilux, you know, it's nice and relaxed with the aircon on. If you get stuck in traffic, never mind, just chill out with the aircon and the music on, you know. Oh, if you're just getting a bit of value from the video, just press subscribe. Try to get us at 10,000. I've only got a couple of weeks to go. I don't think it's going to happen now before Christmas. All right, thanks a lot. And back to the video. And the last big one, you know, is for you single guys out there and single girls out there. Now, obviously, this is the elephant in the room. I think a lot of guys come over here, and there's a lot of talk online about this, you know, and guys come over to Thailand at an older age of maybe 60 to 70, and they're looking for a girlfriend in Thailand. And I think you need to be very, very realistic. You know, if you're looking for a girlfriend in Thailand, you need to find yourself a girl of similar age. Yes, a little bit younger. But if you're looking for, you know, if you're coming to Thailand, you're a 60-year-old single guy, and you're looking for a 25-year-old girlfriend, let's be real, that is not going to be free. You know, that is very rarely free anywhere in the world. You are called a sugar daddy. And that's the same in America, Australia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, wherever you go in the world. If a 60-year-old guy is with a 25-year-old girl, usually it's because of a financial reason. So do yourself a favor when you come to Thailand. If you're a single guy, you can save yourself a hell of a lot of money by just finding a normal girlfriend in Thailand and not be a sugar daddy. So if you do this, then, you know, you're going to have just a normal relationship like you would do back in the West, and it'll be completely whatever, 50-50, or however you want to describe a Western relationship in Thailand. And, you know, I've got one here. All my friends in Thailand have these kind of relationships. There's no financial kind of, I mean, relationships are always a bit financial. That's just relationships in general, marriages and everything. I mean, everything, the whole world revolves around money a little bit. but, you know, not actually, you know, paying out a salary like some guys do over here, like a sugar daddy to some younger girlfriend here. So yeah, let's get real with that. If you're a single guy then, and you want a young 25-year-old girlfriend, then yeah, you're going to be paying a hell of a lot more than anybody here. So yeah, that's up to you. And you need to budget that if you want a 25-year-old girlfriend. That's just crazy, I think, in my eyes. But yeah, that's up to you individuals coming over to Thailand. If you want to be a sugar daddy, go for it. But, you know, it's not really my thing. You know, I just formed a nice, normal relationship out in Thailand. And I advise you to do the same. You know, you're going to cause yourself probably a lot of heartache by going down that road. So don't do it. Now, couples, you guys are out here and, you know, you're not looking for a relationship. So this automatically... You know, you're not going out dating, and obviously dating costs money. Dating's not free for single guys. I've dated before I met my missus, and after, no, I'm joking. Before I met my missus, you know, I went on dating sites, and, you know, I met ladies through, you know, went out on dates and took out girls out for meals, and it's not cheap. You know, it can be expensive, you know, going taking girls out and different girls out for meals and stuff, and trying to find the right one. It's not cheap to do that, even with, you know, normal girls here in Thailand. You know, even back in the West, when you go dating, it's not free. You take the girl out, you know, you normally pay for the meal. Everyone does that. It's pretty standard practice throughout the whole of the world. So if you're a couple, that, you know, that expense of dating has gone out the window. I think I should just have to cover that, because that makes a big difference. I know a lot of guys come out here with, I don't know, some kind of expectation that they're going to get a 20-year-old girlfriend and they're 50 and, you know, it's kind of free. That, I think that's just like ridiculous. That is a sugar daddy. So, you know, if you want to go down that road, it's up to you. It's your life. I highly don't recommend it. I think it's a terrible idea, but that's completely up to you. What I recommend, you know, coming out here and finding a normal girlfriend out here of similar age, and I think you'll have a happier life out here. And, you know, a lot of guys come out here and they start chasing girls around, and they, you know, they don't really want to date. They just want to go from girl to girl. And I think that's a really, really bad idea, especially in retirement age. It's, you know, mentally, it doesn't make you very stable. I think financially it can be an absolute nightmare. So just be very, very careful if you're going down that road, coming over to Thailand and doing that. You know, I advise everyone to come to Thailand. You know, if you're single, if you're a couple, it's great, you're already settled. But if you're a single guy, single girl, you know, find yourself a nice, decent partner in Thailand and settle down, and you'll have a way happier life out here. So there's lots of different reasons, you know, couples and singles are going to spend different amounts of money over here in Thailand. Put down in the comments, you know, what you think is the biggest expense as a couple or as a single coming to Thailand. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to comment, guys, please, and like the video, subscribe, and then I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy.